From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. And we also say good morning to Ed over in the Weather Center, filling in for Miller on this Wednesday. Ed, how's it going out there?
We're looking for showers to develop in and across the region, as we've already got some rain on Doppler radar here to get the day started. Temperatures will warm up only to the 50s, some low 60s by later in the day. But really, this is our opportunity to catch a little bit of rain here today, and we're hoping we can get that about as widespread as we can. We could pick up several inches of mountain snow along the way with this as well. So as we start off with the Stockman Bank weather cam this morning at 44, we'll only see the temperatures warm up a little bit into the afternoon. We see some breaks in the clouds right now. Where were those when we were looking for the eclipse earlier into the program? Temperatures today will be held back by the rain showers, the mountain snow, and isolated thunderstorms after a fairly quiet day for tomorrow. Friday, we'll see a risk of a shower or thunderstorm. So the day planner in the Billings area, 50s and a chance of a shower or thunderstorm through the afternoon and early evening, and then those will start to taper off after that. We'll break down the rest of the forecast details coming up in a little while, including a big warm up as we start getting to the middle of next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Ed, and I will get on to the news. Our top story this morning, there's been a significant step forward in the criminal investigation into former President Donald Trump's business dealings. As CBS's Laura Podesta explains, it could lead to an indictment.
A 2-year investigation into the Trump Organization may be advancing into a new phase. First reported by the Washington Post, a source also tells the Associated Press the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is convening a special grand jury to possibly consider criminal charges against top executives at former President Trump's company. A key target of the investigation is longtime Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg. CBS News has learned investigators are looking at the legality of tuition payments Weisselberg made to his grandchildren's New York private school. His former daughter-in-law says some of the checks were signed by Weisselberg or Donald Trump.
He knows where all the bodies are buried. If there were accounting tricks, they would have had to go by him.
Among the issues Manhattan DA Cy Vance is investigating, possible hush payments made on behalf of Mr. Trump to silence women who claim to have had affairs with him, and potential property overvaluations. Those real estate accusations are something Mr. Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, alleged to Congress 2 years ago.
To your knowledge, did the president or his company ever inflate assets or revenues?
Yes.
And was that done with the president's knowledge or direction?
Everything was done with the knowledge and at the direction of Mr. Trump.
In a statement, Mr. Trump called the investigation purely political and driven by highly partisan Democrat prosecutors. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The grand jury will meet 3 times a week for 6 months. Meanwhile, Republican lawmakers plan to send another infrastructure counterproposal to President Joe Biden as early as tomorrow. The announcement comes after the White House lowered the price tag for its plan from $2.3 trillion to $1.7 trillion. The new Republican proposal is expected to have a price tag of $1 trillion, and that's nearly double their previous offer. The biggest difference will be how to pay for the plan. President Biden wants to raise the corporate tax rate. Republicans want to use unspent COVID relief money along with gas taxes and tolls paid by drivers. The U.S. government will issue new cybersecurity measures this week. They apply to U.S. pipeline operators and follow the ransomware attack that crippled the country's largest pipeline earlier this month. The new rules will include 2 parts. Companies are required to report cybersecurity incidents as soon as possible to the federal government. The second will be for companies to review their security system to determine risks. Continuing our coverage, police are after 2 suspects they believe are responsible for the recent assault of a Northern Cheyenne councilwoman. A 25-year-old woman from St. Xavier and another 27-year-old woman are accused of attacking 23-year-old Silver Little Eagle and a 31-year-old man. Police say they all knew each other and this was not a random act of violence. The names of the suspects and the other victims have not been released. In court news, the Hardin teenager whose semi crashed into an oncoming vehicle, killing 2 people and injuring another, will spend 5 years behind bars. 19-year-old Cole Link was sentenced to 15 years, but the judge suspended 10 of them, citing Link's age and acceptance of responsibility. The crash happened on August 25, 2019, between Hardin and St. Xavier. 2 men in the car died on scene, and a woman was airlifted to a Billings hospital. Now we go to East Helena, where the city's former police chief, who resigned this year amid sexual assault allegations, is now facing child pornography charges. William Harrington was taken into custody yesterday by the FBI. He's accused of creating a Facebook account using an alias and sending child porn to another person. Harrington resigned as East Helena chief in March while on administrative leave. He was being investigated by the city after being accused of sexual assault. Harrington is set for a detention hearing later today. Zimmerman Trail remains closed following a head-on collision earlier this week. Crews are working to get it back open either tomorrow or Friday. Zimmerman Trail is closed yearly in late spring for basic repairs, and those are being done right now, along with maintenance from the crash.
Basically, we had 2 damaged jersey barriers, the large concrete blocks, and then also the retaining wall is a Versalock retaining wall system that kind of provides some support and a ledge off the edge of the road.
Crews say today's weather will determine if they can get the road open by Thursday or if it will be delayed until Friday. There's a new resource for those struggling with their mental health here in Billings. The RIMROCK Foundation just opened a clinic staffed with 7 counselors. The new branch is located at 1601 Lewis Avenue. RIMROCK is known for its substance abuse treatment, but these counselors will work with families and individuals with a wide range of mental health needs. The clinic also allows the foundation to offer better care for those battling addiction.
I would tell patients, if you have trauma, we're really not going to talk about it. I will talk about how it relates to your substance use, but you're only going to be with us for 28 days, and then you're going to go with another counselor in the community. So I'm not going to open that up. And that was a huge disservice to them because they really need to start doing that work now. And so now we can do that.
Staff at the new clinic will start seeing patients today. In the meantime, RIMROCK is already working to reverse a mental health trend that's popped up during the pandemic. Using a $4 million grant, the foundation launched a certified community behavioral health clinic. That's a model of care addressing every single aspect of a person's life, from mental and physical health all the way to their transportation and housing needs. Since the pandemic began, RIMROCK has seen a 40% increase in mental health and substance use referrals, and calls to the Montana Suicide Hotline have doubled. Leaders say it's important to offer one-on-one help to those who need it.
You know, historically, we have always separated mental health care and physical medical care into 2 separate buckets. But the reality is we're integrated people, and those issues are often integrated together. If your mental health is not being tended to, then oftentimes your physical issues and your chronic diseases are worse for the wearer as well.
The U.S. Senate is expected to introduce legislation this month giving every state in the country the option to launch their own certified community behavioral health clinics. Now we go to Yellowstone National Park, where rangers are looking for a woman who approached a mother grizzly bear and her cubs. The woman walked up to the animals at the north end of Roaring Mountain parking lot. The female grizzly charged the woman, who then turned and walked away from the bears. The woman is described as white, in her mid-30s, with brown hair and wearing black clothing. The incident happened around 4:45 in the evening back on May 10th. If you have any information, you are asked to contact the National Park Investigative Services at 888-653-0009. The U.S. has hit a major milestone in the fight against COVID-19 heading into Memorial Day weekend. Half of adults are now fully vaccinated. On top of that, the Moderna shot could soon be available for children as young as 12. CBS's Ian Lee brings us the latest.
The head of the CDC has this message for Americans heading into the holiday weekend.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected, and you can enjoy your Memorial Day. If you are not vaccinated, our guidance has not changed for you. You remain at risk of infection. You still need to mask and take other precautions.
Preparations are underway along the Jersey Shore for a more normal summer.
I think everybody's just got cabin fever and they can't wait to get out.
50% of adults are fully vaccinated, but just under 20% of 12 to 17-year-olds have received at least 1 dose. Los Angeles hopes to vaccinate 300,000 students by the end of next week. These students held a pep rally to kick off the program at their school.
It's going to help a lot, be able to see my friends a little bit more, and my family. So I'm excited for that.
Pfizer is the only vaccine approved for children 12 to 15, but that may soon change. Moderna says its vaccine is 100% effective in children as young as 12 and plans to request FDA authorization next month.
It's exciting. It's another vaccine now that we have that's available for patients as young as 12 years of age, which gives us more opportunity to protect more people, both in the U.S. and worldwide.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he doesn't expect a vaccine for children under 12 to be available in time for the new school year. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Dr. Fauci told Congress yesterday that the studies being done on young children would likely not be available until the end of 2021. The National Football League is lifting some of their pandemic restrictions. Fans will be allowed to attend training camp this year after being shut out of the preseason in 2020. The league also announced that a majority of teams will be allowed to welcome full capacity crowds at the games. The Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos are still working to receive final approval. And it's a special week for one of Montana's World War II veterans. Bud LeCount turned 98 yesterday. He was on the ground during D-Day and even had the opportunity to go back to France for the 75th anniversary in 2019. Family and friends gathered to celebrate Bud on Tuesday. He says he's enjoyed seeing them all grow and prosper.
I got grandkids here and great-grandkids, and I see I have one great-great-grandson here. So I got a whole bunch of relatives here.
I'm so proud of him. You know, he stormed the beaches of Normandy. He's of history. I mean, the fact that he's still walking around 98 years, that's a long time. You know, the Lord has kept him alive for a long time, and I'm very honored to be his great-grandson, yeah.
Bud, a very happy birthday.